This is Living Dead Gal, and welcome back to another Sims 4 video. Welcome to the channel if you are new. As you can see, today we are in CAS, once again, my favorite spot in The Sims. And this is actually a very special CAS video because this is a video in collaboration with the very talented Simmer Misty. If you do not know Simmer Misty, she's someone who I've grown to be, pretty friendly with in the Sims community. She's a very talented simmer. She shares lots of her beautiful creations on Twitter, and she also has an absolutely amazing YouTube channel. She does tons and tons of Let's Plays as well as CAS videos, but just to kind of give you an idea of how many Let's Plays she's got going on. She's got Not So Berry, she's got a Single Mom Life, she has a Legacy Challenge going on, she's also got a Decades Legacy Challenge, and my personal favorite of hers is the Hartford Family series. There's lots of drama, lots of crazy twists and turns, so really excellent, amazing storytelling from Misty, and you should absolutely check out her channel if you have not already. I will put a link to her channel as well as her Twitter in the description below so that you can see her videos as well as her amazing Sims creations. When I first approached Misty, originally I wasn't really sure what we were gonna do for this collab. I really just approached her because I've been enjoying doing collaborations with other simmers that I've kind of grown to know in this community. It's a lot of fun, and it kind of adds to giving you like a challenge to work towards in CAS. So originally she and I thought about maybe doing like a sim swap or doing Sims for each other's Let's Plays, but ultimately we ended up kind of changing the direction of that just because our Let's Plays weren't going to quite line up, and we ended up deciding to do more of like a strictly CAS-based challenge, and we wanted to do something where we were kind of doing like opposites of each other. So we ended up going with a theme of like a sim that would represent light magic versus a sim that would represent dark magic. And I ended up with the dark magic sim. So as I was kind of thinking about this sim and how I wanted to create her, one of the things that Misty and I did kind of like, we didn't really talk about doing it this way, but it kind of worked out. I ended up giving my sim like lighter hair and giving her like that sort of like innocent looking hair color that you would typically think you would see from like a, good magic witch, like a Glinda the Good Witch kind of hair, and Misty ended up actually giving her sim darker hair. So it's kind of cool because it's kind of like a contrast and it's the opposite of what you would expect for those things, especially because when you're making a sim, I feel like when you're trying to make a sim around a theme, their hair color really does play like a huge role in that. So the challenge was in a way kind of creating a look around that still gave that sim, the opposite of what their hair color would sort of represent. So in this case, I had lighter hair, but I ended up going with a bit of a more like gothic style for this sim. As far as her features went, I gave her pretty light eyes, like she's got like beautiful green eyes, but I picked a pair of contacts that were a little less lively than what I usually go for. Usually I go for eyes that have like a little bit more of a glint to them, a little bit more of like a personality behind them. And what I liked about these is that they looked a little bit less emotional. I don't know if that makes sense, but it looked like she had like, it made her look less empathetic to me. So that was something that I really, really liked about these particular contacts. I think you could flip it. You could definitely put them on a sim that's like happy-go-lucky, lucky and bright and beautiful, but I thought it worked for her. I also tried to give her like more of an eyebrow arch than what I normally do, and poutier lips, just to kind of like create that expression of like a little bit more of a mean look. She is an evil sim. She's jealous. She's also a creative genius and an art lover. So I kind of gave her a mixed bag of traits of good and bad, because I don't really think, with a few exceptions, I think there's a lot of times like in characters that we read about, there's not everyone is like 100% good or 100% evil. And so I did want to make sure that not all of her traits were in that sort of negative category. But as I was styling her, one of the things that I did is I kind of did a mix between this sort of old school look as well as a sort of modern look. My idea for her is that, so she represents dark magic. I ended up naming her Genesis Ponce. Ponce was just like a random last name that I rolled and I happened to like. It just felt like it worked. And then Genesis was a name that I came across, and I thought it was cool because it tends to mean origin. And I was thinking like maybe she's the origin of dark magic, or she like embodies dark magic. Like she's almost like the like physical form of dark magic, if that makes sense. And so I wanted to name her that and then give her a look that looked kind of like old school magic for her everyday. So I ended up going with this gown by Natalia Auditor, which is, they're an amazing CC creator, especially for like fantasy CC, and like they have really cool stuff. Like, I mean, things you can make like centaurs with Sims, and I mean, it's really neat. But then I also wanted to give her some modern twist, so I gave her this anti-eyebrow piercing that I thought looked kind of cool, because my idea is that like she embodies dark magic. She's been around for centuries. She's been around for a long time, perhaps even, you know, taking the lives of others to remain youthful looking. So that's sort of the idea behind that. So I really did want her main look to kind of have that like magical, whimsical look, but in like the dark sense. So I also wanted to give her a headdress that I thought was kind of fitting for that. I ended up going with one that I think has like little like animal skulls on it, and I thought that that looked pretty cool on her. So she's definitely got this like gothic look, and that's not me saying that goth is evil by any means. I don't believe that. I love gothic style, but it just kind of goes in that sort of stereotypical dark magic look that we were shooting for here. As far as her other looks, I think the rest of them end up being relatively modern. I definitely went for an all black theme with her. I usually don't do that too much with my Sims, unless it's for a specific theme. Like usually I try to mix up their colors a little bit. Like even with my Not So Berry Sim, I've got like an accent color for her. But in this case, I just thought, you know, no, she would wear pretty much all black all the time. Maybe some occasional white sprinkled in there. For her workout attire, I had to use those like 666 pants because I thought those were perfect. But yeah, I ended up giving her kind of a modern look because I imagine like for everything else, it's kind of her in the modern world, and her main look is almost like her witch form. With spellcasters, we don't have multiple forms like we do with vampires and mermaids. So I'm kind of treating her every day as almost like she's revealing she's a witch outfit. And then the rest of them are just kind of her situational outfits, if that makes sense. So as I was creating her, you know, I was definitely kind of keeping that style in mind, and also kind of thinking about making sure that she would contrast really nicely with Misty's Sim. And so that was sort of also in the back of my mind. I really wanted to push this sort of idea of her being the opposite of light magic. So not just thinking about what dark magic means, but also thinking about how our Sims would contrast next to each other. Unfortunately, because of my game and the way that my tray files were behaving, I was not able to pull in Misty's Sim and do like pictures of them together, which I really wanted to do for this collab. So at the end of the video, I actually have some photos of Misty's Sim that I will be showcasing, so that you can see her and what a beautiful job she did, and then you can kind of see kind of the contrast between Genesis and the Sim that Misty created. So we're getting close to the end here, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up, but I did want to say, again, a very, very special thank you to Misty for doing this collab with me, helping me kind of push myself and keep working on my CAS skills, and for just being an amazing, supportive friend in this community. So please, please check out her channel. Please stick around after I finish showing you Genesis looks so that you can see all of the photos of Misty's beautiful Sim, and please check out her channel where you can catch her video of this CAS collab as well. And with that said, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, leave me a comment down below letting me know, give me a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel for more Sims 4 content. I hope you all are having a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!